This girl was dismembered and left for dead when she was kidnapped trying to get home. I'm the Crime Spectator, and this is the story of Mary Vincent. In 1978, Mary's parents were going through a messy and a turbulent divorce. Desperate to get away from it all, she decided to hitchhike her way to her granddad's house, which was over 450 miles away. After spending a few days with her granddad, Mary was missing her parents terribly, so she decided to hitchhike her way back home. Now, in the 1970s, hitchhiking was considered safe and normal, but it's now something we would never do. On September 29th, 1978, Mary is standing on the side of a motorway and she's trying to hitchhike a ride. She then sees a van pull up and a man in his 50s offers her a lift. He says, "Get in, I'll take you to where you want to go." So Mary gets in and the pair begin talking. She said that the man reminded her of her granddad and she felt at ease. The man introduced himself as Larry. Now, Mary was absolutely exhausted, so she decided to take a nap. But when she woke up, she realised that she didn't know where she was, but she knew it wasn't the right way. So she asked Larry, and he said he needed the toilet, so he was trying to find somewhere to go. Larry then pulls over and gets out the van, and Mary thinks that something isn't feeling right here. Something's not right with this man. She thinks she might have to make a run for it. So she gets out the van and starts tying her shoes. Out of nowhere, with some force, she is punched in the back of the head, which knocks her unconscious. When Mary comes round, she horrifyingly discovers that she has been restrained. Her arms are tied behind her back and she has been stripped of all her clothes. Mary tries to break free, but the restraints were tied that tight that she couldn't get out. Over the next few hours, Larry would essay her repeatedly. All while she was begging him to stop, screaming in pain and begging for him to let her go. After a few hours, Larry stops and he cuts the restraints off Mary, and she is like, finally, he's going to let me go, when he drags her out the van and puts her on the floor. Mary's terrified and exhausted, and she's begging him to set her free, when he says, quote, "Oh, you want to be set free? I'll set you free," quote. He grabs Mary's hand, and within a split second, he grabs an axe and he swings it down on Mary's arm, hacking it off. Mary's losing a lot of blood and she goes limp. Believing that Mary's dead or that she's close to death, Larry then picks her up and chucks her off a culvert. She fell 30 feet to the ground, crashing into the ground and breaking 4 ribs. Larry then shouted, quote, "Now you're free," quote. But unbeknown to him, Mary was still alive and she was clinging onto her life. Terrified that Larry was standing at the top, waiting and watching for her, she lay in a distorted position for hours. Mary was in and out of consciousness, but she knew she had to do something. She wanted this man caught. She wanted him in prison, so he couldn't do this to another innocent little girl. She climbed back up the 30-foot bank and she began to run for 3 miles when she finally reached the road, and a young couple stopped and helped her and took her to hospital straight away. She was able to tell police Larry's description and the description of the van. Using this information, police created a photo sketch which was broadcasted all over the country. And it reached Larry's neighbour, who recognised Larry from the photo sketch and reported this to the police. When they searched Larry's home, he'd kept trophies of all of his crimes, including Mary's clothes and his cigarettes. At his trial, Lawrence Singleton, Larry, was handed the maximum sentence the judge could give him, and that was only 14 years. The judge did say that it was the law who prevented him from giving him a longer sentence. When Mary was leaving the courtroom, Larry pointed to her and said, quote, "I will finish the job even if it takes me the rest of my life," quote. Shockingly, he didn't even serve the full 14 years. He was released after 8 years for good behaviour.